long story short, lo and behold, Lil Wayne's world tour starts, and then somebody sends me this commercial, and they're like, "Did you see this Mountain Dew ad?" And I'm like, "Wow!" I watched it, and I was floored. I was absolutely floored. It was one with Felicia the Goat, and it had a battered white woman who was all traumatized because she had been beat up, and they had a lineup of a bunch of so-called criminals, all of whom were black men. Every one of them was black man except the goat. There was a goat in the middle, and the goat was basically a brother. The goat was like, snitches get stitches, fool, and I'm nasty. You should have gave me some more. And he's talking about Mountain Dew, but he's also talking about, about the woman. So I guess the double entendre kind of thing or whatever. And here's why the ad bothered me. Now, at that point, I did not know who made the ad. I had no idea. What bothered me about the ad was, which had Mountain Dew's name on it, is that it continued to perpetuate the image of the black man as a dangerous criminal, thug, hoodlum, violent person that you need to be afraid of. Now, you might think that that's just entertainment. You might think it has nothing to do with the real world. Well, guess what? I know a ton of black men who went to court on a charge for something they did not commit and were told to take a plea bargain because the attorney told them that they would never be found not guilty by an all-white jury because they are black. When Brian Banks out in California went up for a rape that he did not commit, a girl accused him of rape, he didn't do it. He said, I want to go on trial. I want to defend myself on the stand. I want access to justice like everybody else. His attorney flat out told him, Brian, you are a big black man. An all-white jury will never acquit you. You need to go ahead and take the plea. And if you look at what happens systematically, a lot of black men are in prison for things they didn't do in many cases because there is pressure for them to take a plea before they ever get access to a free and fair trial. And so if you're telling me that if I take a plea I'm going to get 10 months in jail and a felony on my back that I got to carry with me through the rest of my life, but if I try to actually access justice and go on trial that I might get 20, 30 years, well, you're not giving me justice. That's torture. Torture is when you say, look, you can have access to justice if you want, but if you go up in front of all these white people and you lose, you're going to be locked up so long that you won't ever see your kids again. You won't see your kids until your children have grandchildren. That's how long we're going to lock you up. That is torture. Now, what does this have to do with this commercial, this Mountain Dew commercial, and these brothers in the lineup? Well, it continues to feed the propaganda that leads these all-white juries that are sending black men to prison by the boatload. Remember, black men are the most incarcerated group of human beings on the planet. There are more black men incarcerated in America right now than South Africa did during the height of apartheid. Part of the reason that these black men are going to prison is because either A, they're being tortured and forced into taking pleas, or they're going in front of these all-white juries that are sending them to prison because all the lawyer has to do to get a conviction is prove that this black man is probably a thug. And it's easy to believe for these white people, many of whom don't have any black friends, because media has fed the image of the black man as nothing but a criminal and a thug and a dangerous person. That's why when you are repeating lyrics in a song that say things like, I'm a thug nigga, I'll shoot a nigga, I don't give a fuck nigga, do you understand what you're doing? You're feeding propaganda that is leading to a validation for your extermination. That is what is happening here. When Hitler wanted permission from the German people to kill the Jews, he couldn't just walk out there and say, I want to find a bunch of innocent people and murder them for no reason. Will you go along with that? They wouldn't go along with that. Most human beings would never support something like that. No, what he did was he used the media. He used propaganda to paint the Jew as savage, as dangerous, as a menace to society, almost like a roach or a rat or a mouse that needs to be exterminated, like just some vile vermin, like a virus on your society that needs to be eliminated. Well, if you don't think that that's how they see the black man in America, then you are out of your mind. That is exactly how they see the black man in America. They see us as a virus. That's why the police can shoot black men and not let alone get acquitted, not even get indicted. Do you understand that it's very rare for somebody to be brought up before a grand jury and not be indicted? I'm talking about like 1% maybe, something like that. But almost every cop that murders a black man doesn't even get an indictment. Why is that? Because people cheer for him because he eliminated the virus. He's killing a rodent. No one will ever prosecute you for shooting a rat or a mouse or stepping on a cockroach. So, if you understand that media perpetuates this myth of the black man as a dangerous, violent, criminal thug, then you understand that this has real impact on a real impact on real people's lives. So now you understand, I hope, why I took issue with this Mountain Dew commercial where they have this innocent, frightened white woman standing in front of all these big, scary black men. I had no idea that Tyler the Creator made that commercial. I didn't know anything about Tyler. I'd heard his name like 3 times. That's it. I ain't even listened to the brother's music. I had no idea that these were his friends. Neither does the audience. Nobody knows. All they know is that Mountain Dew put out a commercial that had a bunch of black men looking like criminals and a white woman who was afraid for her life, standing next to a white police officer who was protecting her from the big scary black men. Do you understand how this goes back to history? In Black Wall Street, in the massacre of Black Wall Street in 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, part of the reason that whites were able to go into this wealthy, affluent black neighborhood and murder a bunch of the men and lock up the rest and go house to house and loot the house and burn the house down one by one in a systematic fashion, part of the reason they were able to do that and never ever be put on trial is because of the media. The media shared propaganda in which they painted a picture for the public. The picture was black people are becoming savages. They're out of control because you know how these niggas get when they lose their mind. And these brave white men who've been deputized, so they got the power of the state behind them now. They're not vigilantes anymore. The state has backed them to go in and execute black men because media has fed the image of the black man as a criminal, violent, dangerous thug. So that same way media was used in 1921 is the same way media can be used in the year 2015. So this commercial was part of this continuous propaganda effort to paint the black man as a violent criminal. I can't sign off on that.